Good morning, students. Today, I would like to discuss with you about flip-flop. Before going to flip-flop, let me explain the differences between combinational logic circuits and sequential logic circuits. Combinational logical circuits that change state depending on the actual signals being applied to their inputs at that time. So, combinational logic circuits depend on the present input and give an output according to the present input. Coming to sequential logic circuit, it actually acts as a memory. Sequential logical circuits are able to take into account their previous input state as well as those actual present. It also gives output according to the previous output. So, sequential logical circuit depend on present input, past input, and the past output. Sequential logical circuits remember these conditions and stay fixed in their current state until the next clock signal changes on of the state. That means it can retain its output until we are giving the next clock signal or input. So these sequential logic circuits can be act as memory. So sequential logical circuits are generally termed as two-state or bistable device. It can store either 0 or 1. One of two basic states, a logic level 1 or a logic level 0. So it can store either 0 or 1. So it's also called a latched circuits. This is a typical sequential logic circuit in which we can see a combination circuit in which we have an input and we have an output. And when coming to sequential logic circuit, there is a feedback mechanism. Most probably the previous state or past output is fed back to input. So the past output or the value that we are recorded here and the present input gives us the present output. So sequential logic circuit depend on the present input and the past output. So sequential means things happen in a sequence. That means one after another. Examples are flip-flops, latches, and counters. Now there are different sequence logical circuits. First one is event-driven, asynchronous circuit that change state immediately when enabled. So it changes its state immediately when we are giving an input signal. Clock-driven, synchronous circuit that are synchronized to a specific clock signal. So this circuit will be activated only when we are giving a clock pulse. When we are giving a clock signal. Now, pulse-driven circuit, which is a combination of the two that responds to a triggering pulse. So, this circuit get activated only when we are applying a pulse to the input. These are the major differences between combinational circuits and sequential circuits. Outputs depend only on the present inputs for combinational circuits, whereas in sequential circuits, outputs depend on both present input and present state or past output also. Feedback path is not present. In sequential circuits, feedback path is present. In combinatorial circuits, memory elements are not required. In sequential circuit, memory elements are required. In combinatorial circuits, clock signal is not required, whereas in sequential circuits, clock signal is required. Easy to design, whereas sequential circuits difficult to design. Now, there are two types of triggering mechanism: positive level triggering and negative level triggering. In positive level triggering, the chip will be enabled at logic high. That means in this state. But in negative level triggering, the chip will enable or we get an output only when this logic level is low. In negative level triggering, the chip will enable or we will get a change in state when we are giving a logic low. Whereas in positive level triggering, circuit will be get activated in high state of the pulse. Coming to flip-flops. Flip-flops is a bistable circuit that has two stable states, 0 and 1. That means low and high. That means it can store either 0 or 1. So we are using flip-flops for storing binary numbers or bits, either 0 or 1. So this acts as a memory. To change the state of the output, the circuit must be driven by an input pulse called trigger pulse. Until then, it can retain its past output. That means flip-flop can store binary information. So remember, flip-flop can be used as memory. Normally in flip-flops, we have two outputs, Q and Q dash. Q dash is the inverted output of Q. That means when Q is equal to 1, Q dash should be 0. In other words, when Q is equal to 0, Q dash should be 1. Most probably we have two inputs for flip-flops. Once the state of flip-flop is set, it remains this way until changed by the input. When Q is equal to 1, the state is called 1 or set state. When Q is equal to 0, the state is equal to 0. That is called a reset state. Now first flip-flop, SR flip-flop. SR flip-flop is also known as SR latch, in which we have two states, Z state and reset state. When Q is equal to 1, it's called set state, labeled as S. When Q is equal to 0, it is called a reset state, labeled as R. Then SR description stands for Z reset. So this is the block diagram of SR flip-flop, in which we have two inputs S and R and two outputs Q and Q dash. Remember, Q dash is the inverted output of Q. Our primary aim is to store either 0 or 1. Now the possible inputs are 0 0, 0 1, 1 0, 1 1. Now this is the logic circuit of SR flip-flop, in which we are using two NOR gates. We can also construct it with NAND gate. Here we are using two NOR gates and the inputs are R and S, outputs Q and Q dash. Let me consider one state in which R is set as 0 and S sets as 1. So I'm giving R 0 here and S is equal to 1. And remember, flip-flop can store 0 or 1. So let me take a situation in which our output is 0. That means whenever we are saying about the storage of flip-flop, we consider Q. Whatever output is occupied in Q, that will be stored in this flip-flops. So let me consider a state in which Q is equal to 0 and I am giving R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 1. So whenever I am giving a high signal here, it gets enabled and the second input is 0, 0 and 1 to OR gate is 1. This is NOR gate, so it's get inverted to 0. So the final output is Q dash is 0. Suddenly this Q dash fit to here, 0, 0, 0, 0 gives 0. For NOR gate, it inverted to 1. Therefore, Q changes to 1. So when I give R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 1, we get Q is equal to 1 and Q dash is equal to 0. Remember, I took the state Q is equal to 0 and Q dash is equal to 1. We have another state for SR flip-flop in which Q is equal to 1 and Q dash is equal to 0. Assume Q is equal to 1 at a particular time. Then I am giving same input, R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 1. So this trigger this NOR gate, 1 from here, 1 and 1 to OR gate 1, NOR gate, inverted output of this OR gate, that is 0. 0 here and 0 from R, 0, 0 gives an output 0 to OR gate, inverted to NOR, that means 1. So we get 1. Therefore, Q is equal to 1 and Q dash is equal to 0. When we are giving R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 1, we get Q is equal to 1. That is the important point. Here also Q is equal to 1. This state is equal to set state. S is equal to 1. That means set state. So to keep this SR flip-flop to a high state, we have to give R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 1. That means we can store 1 in this SR flip-flop by setting R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 1. Am I clear? Okay. So when I am giving R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 1, output Q is equal to 1 and the inverter output Q dash is of course 0. We are interested in this output because this output is stored in flip-flops. Next, suppose other case in which R is equal to 1 and S is equal to 0. First case, when R is equal to 1, S is equal to 0, suppose the last state is Q is equal to 1 and Q dash is equal to 0. So when I am giving R is equal to 1, we have to consider this NOR gate first. So 0 from here, 0 and 1, 1 here, and we are giving it to a NOR gate, so complement 0. So Q changes to 0. Therefore 0 here and 0 from here, 0 for NOR gate, it changes to 1. Therefore final output of Q dash is equal to 1. Therefore Q dash is equal to 1. Let me consider second case in which Q is equal to 0 and Q dash is equal to 1. Same inputs, R is equal to 1, S is equal to 0. R is equal to 1 here, 1 from here, 1 and 1, 1 here, inverter output 0. So Q is equal to 0. 0 from here, fit to this NOR gate 0, S0, 0 and 0, output here 1. Therefore, Q dash is equal to 1. So, whatever may be the outputs, previous outputs, Q is equal to 1 or Q is equal to 0, we get Q is equal to 0 when the inputs R is equal to 1 and S is equal to 0. So, when R is equal to 1, we can store 0 in this flip-flop. Therefore, it is called reset state. R1 reset, S1 Z. So remember, when S is equal to 1, we can store 1. That's called a set state. When R is equal to 1, we can store 0. It's called reset state. We are interested in these two states. Other states are irrelevant in flip-flop. One state is R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 0. When I am giving R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 0 by keeping Q is equal to 1 and Q dash is equal to 0, 0, Q dash is equal to 0, 0 and 0, give 0 here from NOR gate 1. So Q is equal to 1. Q fit to the second NOR gate 1, 0, 1 here inverted 0, 0. So when I am giving R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 0, we get the same state. Second condition which I am considering Q is equal to 0 and Q dash is equal to 1 with same inputs, R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 0. R is equal to 0, 1 from here, 0 and 1, 1, NOR gate 0. So output is 0. 0 fit to the second NOR gate, 0. S is equal to 0, 0 and 0 to OR gate 0 and it inverted here in NOR gate to 1. Therefore, output is 1. So, there is no change in the output in both cases. That means when I am giving R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 0 to SR flip-flop, there is no change in the outputs. So, when R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 0, no change in the outputs. And last condition, when R is equal to 1 and S is equal to 1, suppose Q is equal to 1 and Q dash is equal to 0 of that flip-flop. When R is equal to 1, Q dash from here, 0 and 1 gives 1 here, inverted to 0. So, Q changes to 0. Suddenly, this Q comes here, 0 and 1, 1 here. 1 here means it's inverted to 0. That means suddenly Q dash is equal to 0. It fit to here, 0 and 1, 1 here. It changes to 0. That means it tried to change its output state continuously. Therefore, this is an invalid case. So, the same is in this case also. Therefore, we are not considering this case. So, when R is equal to S is equal to 1, this is an invalid state. So, when we consider SR flip-flop, we are interested in two states. That means set state and a reset state, and other two states are irrelevant. So when R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 1, we get Q is equal to 1 and we can store 1. That is Z state. When R is equal to 1 and S is equal to 0, we can store 0. That is called a reset state. So we are concentrated on these two states because we have to store 1 and 0, or our primary aim is to store bits. Let me explain the timing diagram of SR flip-flop in which inputs are S and R, outputs Q and Q dash. Suppose along x-axis we have T. So at a particular T, when S goes high, suddenly output Q goes to high state and Q dash goes to low state. And I am giving the same input S high once again. Therefore, there is no change. This state will change only when R is equal to high. So when I am giving R high, it suddenly changes to low state. Q changes to low and Q dash comes to high state. So as time goes on, when I am giving S high, our output again changes to high state and Q dash changes to low state. This is all about timing diagram of SR flip-flop. Thank you for listening. Thank you.